trash. ¡Una bulla!
Stuardo was our main guide through the whole trip. He greeted us at the airport when we arrived around midnight just to say hello and make sure that we got to our hotel without any issues. Stuardo is from Guayaquil, though he has traveled around the country of Ecuador and lived in Colombia at one point. He went to the University of Guayaquil for marine biology, and though he knew some English from primary and secondary schooling in Ecuador, he could not speak fluently. However, the college textbooks were only available in English, so he had to teach himself. He met his wife at the university. They have been married for 15 years and have a daughter who is 16. Although he has a degree in marine biology, Stuardo has been very involved in tourism. He did tours around Peru and Ecuador and started what would become Ecoturismo y Diversión 18 years ago. It began with just a party bus, then he added a party boat, and then started guiding tours. Stuardo has been a guide for UNI for 3 years now, but he has been the head guide who stayed with the groups for 2 years. The first Galapagos trip, Pete and Maureen were so impressed by Stuardo's enthusiasm, friendliness, and his ability to speak English that they urged the study abroad office to partner with him. Now Stuardo helps plan the trips, make reservations, and stays with the group through the tour. Mario was our guide for our tour to Santai Island on the first full day we were in Ecuador. He has been a guide for Santai for 4 years. Previously, he was an English teacher for schools in Ecuador. He taught himself English when he traveled to the US at age 9 with his older brother. His brother had to work 12-hour days to support the two of them while living in the US. Mario returned to Ecuador 12 years later. While he enjoys giving tours of Santai Island, he hopes to soon return to teaching English at a school being built on Santai. Simon guided us on our second day on a river tour, hike, and around a cacao farm. Born in Ecuador, he moved to Costa Rica, then Canada once the country opened its borders to immigrants. He moved back to Costa Rica and then returned to Ecuador when his second son was born. Simon has 4 children, one with an ex-wife from Peru and 3 children with his wife from Canada, the youngest of which is 19. His children grew up in Ecuador and moved to Canada during their high school years. Though he misses his family, he refuses to move back to Canada because it's too cold. He has done tourism for 23 years and has owned 4 businesses over his lifetime, including a travel agency, a large hostel, and a bar in which he met Stuardo. He is in the process of opening a small hostel in the Highlands, the area where we had our river tour and hike.
Anyways, salud.
Salud. Are we doing down, up?
Yeah.
Oh.
One shot. One shot. One shot.
Oh God. Whoa. It burns. Wow.
Gandhi led the tour at the Darwin Reservation on Santa Cruz Island. He started tourism 13 years ago at the age of 23. Before that, he was a scuba diving instructor. He enjoys diving, but thought it was too dangerous to have the lives of so many people in his hands, so he teaches on land about the Galapagos and tortoises. Guides have to either take courses to maintain their license or volunteer at the Darwin Reservation. Gandhi had finished his time of volunteering soon before we arrived. He grew up on Santa Cruz and learned English very well at the school he attended there. He used to travel to the mainland every couple of months, but his trips have become less frequent. Gandhi has a younger sister and a 5-year-old daughter. Fausto was our guide on Bartolome for the hike and our first time snorkeling. He is from the highlands in Ecuador by Quito. He said that he took a field trip to the Galapagos when he was in school and didn't want to leave, so now he lives on the islands. He studied marine biology and he learned English by living in England for a while. His daughter currently lives in Wales, and his daughter's mother is from London. They met when she worked at the Charles Darwin Museum.